Welcome to the deep dive. This one is specifically for you, the C9 followers of our podcast and business page.
It absolutely is. I'm Vera.
And I'm Lex. We're both from the C9 team, and today...
Well, today our mission is pretty urgent.
It's focused. We're going to pull back the curtain on a critical shift that, frankly, Australian business leaders need to be making right now.
We're talking about moving away from all those disconnected software systems.
And into a proper API-first integration strategy.
Yeah, and the sources we've compiled, they make it crystal clear. This is not an optional nice-to-have for your 2026 plan.
No, it's a necessity. It's about market dominance, plain and simple.
And here's the hook, the thing that's happening under the surface. These disconnected systems are quietly draining your resources.
It's a silent killer for profitability. I mean, think about the scale of this. Mid-sized Australian firms are now using, on average, 371 different software applications.
371.
And here's the kicker. Less than 28% of those are properly integrated. Wow. So that's the friction we're talking about. So today, our mission is to basically pull out the shortcuts. Find those aha moments to help you get out of those software silos.
And to really boost productivity and stop, losing 50 grand a year or even more just from manual errors. Let's dive into this integration crisis.
Yeah, let's start with the brutal truth, because this crisis, it's not discussed enough.
It's not, but it is devastating businesses. It's killing productivity, it's frustrating staff, and while you're worrying about next quarter's numbers,
Your competitors are moving ahead.
they are flying past you,
Yeah.
releasing new features 78% faster because they made this API first shift years ago.
And to make this real, let's look at a case study. We pulled this one on a company called Aussie Tech.
A Melbourne manufacturing firm, a solid business, $12 million enterprise, about 35 employees.
And they had all the right systems, a 2015 ERP, a 2019 CRM, a 2021 e-commerce platform.
But all of them isolated. They didn't talk to each other.
For that isolation, that's where the manual work comes in.
It's where all the pain comes from. I mean, just imagine the daily routine for their operations manager.
Okay, walk me through it.
Every single morning, 8 a.m., they are exporting Shopify orders.
Right.
Then by 8:30, they're manually keying those orders into their ancient ERP system, one by one.
Oh, that sounds awful and error-prone.
Totally. So by 9:15, they're hunting for duplicates because, of course, the systems don't sync. Then around 11:30, they're trying to do a manual inventory sync.
This sounds exhausting just listening to it. What was the actual business cost of all that?
Catastrophic. Because there was no real-time link between sales and stock. They were constantly overselling things.
Okay, so angry customers.
Angry customers, fulfillment nightmares, and this is the big one. They lost 3 major accounts in just 2 months.
Wait, hold on. What was the final number? The revenue loss?
Over 60 days, they lost $847,000 in revenue.
$847,000, just from a lack of connected systems.
That's the direct measurable cost. And that wasn't some freak event. It was the inevitable breakdown of a fragile manual system.
Which leads us right into these hidden killers of growth. Killer number 1 is the opportunity cost, the stuff you can't see on a spreadsheet.
Exactly. Every single hour your best developers spend trying to patch these old systems together
Is an hour they are not spending on innovating your actual product.
Right. And the data shows businesses that do this have a 35% slower product velocity.
So in real terms, your competitor launches a new feature in 3 months. It takes your team 6.
And suddenly, that's a market share problem, not a tech problem.
Killer number 2, the compound effect of technical debt.
The quick integration fixes. They seem cheap and fast up front,
Like using a credit card.
exactly like a high-interest credit card. These fixes are brittle, they're undocumented, they duplicate data, and before you know it, the problem has multiplied.
And then 18 months down the line, you try to change one small thing.
And everything breaks. Your agility is just gone.
And the third killer, this one feels very 2026, the security time bomb.
Yeah, for anyone in the C-suite, you need to hear this. APIs are now the #1 attack vector for breaches.
The number 1.
Over 80% of organizations will face an API security issue. Without proper governance, you're just creating these wide-open data highways for attackers.
And in Australia, the cost of failure is massive. A breach costs, what, over $3.3 million on average?
Yep, and that's before the Privacy Act 2025 penalties.
Yeah.
That could be up to $50 million or 30% of your turnover. This is now a major financial risk.
It's not just an IT headache anymore.
Not at all. So if that's the problem, the solution has to be structural. It has to be this API-first operating model.
Okay, let's define that. Simply, no jargon.
Right. The best analogy is urban planning. You don't just build houses randomly and then try to connect them later with messy tunnels.
You build the roads first.
You build the roads first, the communication layer, the APIs, then everything connects seamlessly from day one, no matter what house or what application you build next.
And the difference between that and the old way is just, it's dramatic.
Oh, it's night and day. Let's use the example of a new customer portal.
Okay, so traditionally you'd build the portal.
And then you'd spend months digging those tunnels. You're looking at maybe 4 to 8 weeks just to connect to the CRM. Another 6 to 10 weeks for order history from the ERP. Then another 3 to 6 for billing.
So you're already at 5 or 6 months minimum just to launch.
Exactly. But with the API first model, you design those reusable APIs for customers, orders, payments upfront.
So the roads are already there.
The roads are there. So building the portal is just connecting to the existing roads. You launch in 6 to 8 weeks.
And the big strategic win is reusability, right? If you want to model app next.
You use the exact same APIs, the same roads. So that new project also takes 6 to 8 weeks, not 6 months. You are compounding your speed.
And the numbers back this up. It's not a fringe idea anymore.
Not at all. 82% of companies are now prioritizing API first. That's up from just 23% 2 years ago.
And the ROI.
A staggering 445%. And maybe more importantly, businesses who don't do this are 70% slower to market.
So if you want to compete, if you want to meet customer expectations for instant everything, this is it. This is the only way to scale.
Okay, let's focus on the 4 measurable outcomes, the stuff that directly hit your balance sheet.
Yeah, the bottom line, let's do it.
Outcome 1 is concrete, measurable revenue growth. And we're seeing great Australian examples.
Okay, like what?
A Sydney healthcare provider. They used an API-first approach for their telehealth services. They cut patient wait times by 67%.
And the revenue impact.
A direct line to $18 million in new revenue growth.
18 million. Wow.
And another one, a Melbourne retailer, unified their inventory with APIs. Cut stockouts by 72%.
Which means fewer disappointed customers.
And $6.4 million in pure revenue growth.
Okay, so outcomes 2 and 3 are efficiency and speed.
Yeah, across the whole company. We're seeing finance departments cut their workload by 30 to 40% because of automation, and 52% fewer data errors across the board.
And that speed to market you mentioned, that's the real competitive weapon.
It is. Your developers spend 50–70% less time on plumbing. That frees them up to innovate, while your competitors are stuck taking 6 months just to get a basic update out the door.
And the final outcome, number 4, is risk mitigation.
Right. And it's more than just security. It's about operational stability. Good API monitoring can catch failures before they become disasters.
Got an example?
Yep. A Brisbane firm avoided what would have been a $3.2 million operational failure. Their API monitoring caught a critical data flow issue before it brought everything down.
Let's make this really personal now. For a typical, say, 50-person Australian business that hasn't done this, let's walk through the real financial cost of doing nothing.
Okay, the annual cost of no strategy. When you add it up, it's shocking. First, just manual data entry, wasted staff time. That's about $117,000 a year.
Okay.
Lost sales. From things like inventory errors or a clunky checkout, we estimate that costs about $180,000 a year.
And then there's the internal costs.
Exactly. Your best developers doing plumbing instead of innovating, that's another $104,000. Then the actual cost of errors, maybe 2% of revenue, another $120,000 gone.
And what's the biggest line item?
It's the one that's hardest to see. Delayed launches and lost market share. We put that at around $340,000 a year.
So when you add all that up,
The total annual loss from just having disconnected systems is $861,000.
$861,000, that is a staggering amount of money just lost to internal friction.
It is, and that's why the investment makes so much sense. A proper structured solution might cost, say, $120K to $180K year one.
But with that kind of loss, your payback period is, what, 3 or 4 months?
2.5 to 4 months, yeah. And after that, you're saving over $680,000 every single year. It becomes a profitability engine.
But, and this is a big but, you have to be careful about the dark side of cheap solutions.
Oh, absolutely. Business leaders must be aware of what we call the AI cowboys.
The AI cowboys.
Yeah, freelancers or agencies using cheap AI tools, doing what we call vibes coding. It's all based on feel, not architecture. They promise you the world. Build it in 24 hours. Save 90%.
And we've seen the life cycle of that kind of code. We call it the 18-month cliff.
We do. So for the first 3 months, everything looks amazing. It's fast, it's shiny.
The honeymoon period.
Totally. Then, around months 9 to 12, the system starts to break.
constantly. And by 18 months?
You were forced into a complete rebuild. At 3 to 5 times the cost you thought you were saving, debt comes due.
And it's not just the cost. There are serious risks. AI-generated code has a lot of flaws, right?
It's riddled with them.
Hmm.
Up to 45% inherent vulnerabilities. You remember that Brisbane e-commerce site? Their checkout failed on Black Friday.
Oh, I remember.
There was a $340,000 loss
Right.
directly from cheap, vulnerable AI code.
And that duplicated code you mentioned, that's not just messy. That makes your system slow and impossible to maintain.
Impossible. But even worse is the security catastrophe. These AI models, they're trained on old code with old vulnerabilities.
So they just replicate them.
They replicate things like SQL injection. For a CEO, that's not a coding error. That's a pathway for a hacker to dump your entire customer database and land you a $50 million fine.
And the biggest problem of all might be the nobody knows how it works problem.
Yes. There's no documentation, no knowledge transfer, so when it breaks at 2 a.m. on a Saturday, your business just bleeds money because nobody can fix it.
There was that Perth sauce company example.
A perfect, painful example. They paid $15,000 for a cheap AI build product.
And the real cost.
Over $762,000. That's included the rebuild, the transition, the lost customers. A proper architecture would have cost them $95,000 upfront.
You pay for structure now, or you pay for a catastrophe later.
That's it. Which brings us to the difference between that and a reliable approach. It's about knowledge transfer versus a black box.
A cheap developer gives you code and vanishes. A real partner ensures you own your technology.
That's the key. It means you get full documentation, decision records, training for your team, peer reviews, everything you need to safely modify and fix things yourself. You are not held hostage.
Which is why skipping that initial discovery phase is it's the worst idea.
It's the biggest mistake you can make. Discovery is not a sales pitch. It's a collaborative audit that maps your actual needs and prevents that dreaded scope creep.
And it lets you target the high-value fixes first for a quick ROI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we find one bottleneck that's costing you $50,000 a month in manual work, we fix that first. And those savings then fund the next phase of the strategy.
A proper methodology has to be transparent and proven.
Right, like a blended hybrid model. You get the Australian architects for strategy and communication paired with offshore expertise for cost efficiency and scale.
And it should follow clear phases.
Always. Phase 1, discovery. 2 to 3 weeks to map everything. Phase 2, foundation. 4 to 6 weeks to build the core API design and security.
Then implementation.
Implementation. Phase 3. That's iterative. Over 8 to 16 weeks, hitting the highest value items first. And then phase 4 is just ongoing optimization.
And the pricing has to be transparent. None of these vague, indicative proposals.
Absolutely not. You need discovery-based estimates with transparent rates broken down by skill set. You should know exactly what you're paying for and why.
Okay, so let's summarize this for the Australian business owners and C-level executives listening.
The key takeaway is this. Integration is simply non-negotiable for survival in 2026.
Structure beats cheap fixes every single time.
And knowledge transfer is the only way to achieve true ownership and agility with your technology.
You have to stop seeing technology as just a cost and start seeing it as your primary competitive advantage.
So here's the final thought, the provocative one to leave you with.
Let's hear it.
What incredible market innovation, what quantum leap could you drive with that extra $861,000 you would save every single year by finally fixing your integration crisis with a proper API-first approach?
That potential is there. It just needs to be unlocked with the right strategy. And we are C9, Australia's leading custom software, apps, integration, and database developer company.
Don't wait for that 18-month cliff to hit your business. Book a free discovery session with us. Let's map your systems and find those bottlenecks.
You can find us right now at www.c9.com.au.
And please make sure you click that follow button and share this deep dive with any colleagues you know who could benefit from this knowledge.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.